Welcome, UPSC aspirants. Today we will delve into the topic of inflation, an essential concept in economics. We'll explore its definition, various types, and provide examples to clarify each type. Inflation affects our daily lives and the overall economy. Understanding it is crucial for anyone preparing for competitive exams like the UPSC. In this video, we will break down the complexities of inflation, making it easier for you to grasp. We'll cover demand-pull inflation, cost-push inflation, and built-in inflation. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how inflation works and its impact on the economy. Let's begin our journey to understand inflation. Inflation is defined as the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services rises. This means that over time, the same amount of money will buy fewer goods and services. As prices increase, the purchasing power of money decreases, meaning that each unit of currency buys fewer items than it did before. This can have a significant impact on the cost of living and the overall economy. Inflation is a crucial economic indicator that affects everyone from consumers to policymakers. For consumers, it means that their money doesn't go as far as it used to, which can lead to changes in spending habits. For policymakers, managing inflation is a key part of economic policy. Understanding inflation helps in making informed decisions about spending, saving, and investing. For instance, if you know that inflation is likely to rise, you might decide to save more money or invest in assets that are likely to increase in value over time.
There are several causes of inflation. The primary ones are demand-pull inflation, where the demand for goods and services exceeds supply, and cost-push inflation, which occurs when the cost of production increases, leading to higher prices. Other factors include monetary policies, exchange rates, and economic policies. Demand-pull inflation often happens during periods of strong economic growth, where consumers have more money to spend, leading to increased demand. Cost-push inflation can be triggered by rising costs of raw materials, energy prices, or disruptions in the supply chain. Monetary policies, such as changes in interest rates by central banks, can also influence inflation by affecting borrowing and spending. Exchange rates and international trade dynamics play a role too, as currency fluctuations can impact import and export prices. Lastly, government economic policies, including fiscal measures and stimulus packages, can drive inflation by increasing overall demand in the economy.
Inflation can be categorized into several types. The main types are creeping, walking, galloping, and hyperinflation. Each type represents a different rate of increase in prices and has distinct characteristics and impacts on the economy. Creeping inflation, also known as mild inflation, occurs when prices rise slowly, typically at a rate of 1 to 3% per year. Walking inflation, or moderate inflation, happens when prices increase at a rate of 3 to 10% annually. Galloping inflation is more severe, with prices rising at double or triple-digit rates, often between 10 to 50% per year. Hyperinflation is the most extreme form, where prices skyrocket at rates exceeding 50% per month, leading to a rapid erosion of the currency's value and severe economic instability. Understanding these types helps in formulating appropriate economic policies.
Creeping inflation, also known as mild inflation, occurs when prices rise slowly and predictably. This type of inflation is characterized by a gradual increase in the price levels of goods and services over time. Unlike hyperinflation, which can cause economic chaos, creeping inflation is often seen as a sign of a healthy, growing economy. Typically, creeping inflation occurs at a rate of 3% or less per year. This slow and steady rise in prices allows consumers and businesses to plan for the future with a degree of certainty. It is considered healthy for the economy as it encourages consumption and investment. When prices rise slowly, consumers are more likely to spend money rather than hoard it, knowing that their purchasing power will remain relatively stable. Walking inflation occurs when prices increase at a moderate rate, typically between 3% and 10% per year. It is called walking because it moves at a pace that is faster than a crawl but slower than a run. This moderate rate of inflation can be seen in various sectors of the economy, including groceries, housing, and transportation. It can be harmful if it persists, reducing the purchasing power of consumers and affecting economic stability. When prices rise steadily, consumers find that their money doesn't go as far as it used to. This can lead to a decrease in consumer spending, which in turn can slow down economic growth. For instance, if the price of groceries increases from $100 to $108 over a year, it indicates walking inflation. This 8% increase might seem small, but over time, it can add up, significantly impacting household budgets and eroding savings.
Galloping inflation is characterized by a high and accelerating rate of inflation, often exceeding 10% per year. This rapid increase in prices can create a sense of urgency and panic among consumers and businesses alike. It can lead to a significant erosion of purchasing power and economic instability. When prices rise so quickly, people find that their money buys less and less, which can severely impact their standard of living. An example is when the cost of essential goods doubles within a short period, causing widespread concern among consumers and businesses. This situation can lead to hoarding, as people try to buy goods before prices rise even further, and businesses may struggle to keep up with the changing costs. Governments often have to intervene with monetary policies to try and control galloping inflation, but these measures can take time to have an effect. In the meantime, the economy can suffer from reduced investment and lower consumer confidence, making recovery even more challenging. Hyperinflation is an extremely high and typically accelerating inflation rate, often exceeding 50% per month. It leads to a total collapse in the currency's value and severe economic crisis. For example, during the hyperinflation in Zimbabwe, prices doubled every day, making the currency virtually worthless. Hyperinflation can erode savings, devastate economies, and lead to social unrest. In the 1920s, Germany experienced hyperinflation where people used money as wallpaper because it was cheaper than buying actual wallpaper. More recently, Venezuela has faced hyperinflation, causing severe shortages of basic goods and services. Hyperinflation disrupts daily life, making it difficult for people to afford necessities. Understanding hyperinflation is crucial for policymakers to prevent and manage such crises effectively.
Let's look at some historical examples to understand these inflation types better. The United States experienced walking inflation in the 1970s due to oil price shocks. This period saw a steady rise in prices, affecting the cost of living and economic stability. Brazil faced galloping inflation in the 1980s, leading to significant economic reforms. The rapid increase in prices caused widespread economic instability and social unrest. Germany's Weimar Republic is infamous for its hyperinflation in the 1920s, where prices skyrocketed uncontrollably. People needed wheelbarrows of money to buy basic goods, illustrating the extreme devaluation of currency. Zimbabwe also experienced hyperinflation in the late 2000s, with prices doubling almost daily, leading to the abandonment of its currency.
Understanding inflation is vital for grasping economic principles and their impacts. We've covered its definition, causes, and various types with examples. We hope this has enhanced your knowledge and will aid in your UPSC preparation. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more informative videos. Remember, a solid understanding of inflation can significantly boost your performance in exams. Stay curious, keep learning, and best of luck with your studies.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more educational content. Your support helps us create more valuable resources for UPSC aspirants.